Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Mara stock chart planning update video. I've been getting a lot of comments just on some videos and in the Discord as well. There's been some messages where, there's a lot of people, and I get it, right? There's a lot of people confused on like, hey, why has Bitcoin? We're going to jump into Bitcoin as well in a little bit because I feel like it's very important to cover Bitcoin as well in this video for correlation reasons. But there's a lot of confusion. Everyone's like saying, oh, if Bitcoin's going up, why isn't Mara going up? Like, why is this? Can you explain? People just want some clarity. People want to understand what's going on so they can better manage their positions, right? And yeah, that's the whole purpose of this video today. Is I'm gonna go ahead and explain why I believe what's going on, my explanation on that, and how I intend to manage my positions, how I intend to participate in this uncertainty, right? So everything's gonna be super simple. I'm gonna get into it in a moment, but of course, everything I say in this video is just my own personal opinion. It is not financial advice, and again, this is just a way for me to document, what I'm doing during this time, during this part of the bull cycle that we're in, and then helping you guys out as well. But yeah, not financial advice. Let's get going. So we all know recently, I'm gonna show you guys Bitcoin real quick. We all know recently Bitcoin has been going up quite a bit. We broke to 60,000, fell back down below, quickly broke above it, once again below 60, and now we're up, and trying to break this previous swing high right here. But at the same time, during this time, Mara is underperforming Bitcoin, or at least not even trailing it, actually sort of, hanging low for a bit, right? And this is what has people confused. Now, I'm going to give you guys my explanation on this, but there is one thing to also look at as well. Look at other mining companies. So what's the current second largest mining company in the US besides, I think Mara's the first. So yeah, look at Riot. Riot is it's probably slightly worse in my opinion. Mara is it was down 0.42% today. It's Friday night, by the way. So I believe, what was Mara? Mara is actually up just over 0.5%. So, and it's looking a little bit better compared to Riot, but all the mining companies are just seeing further consolidation in these discounted levels, right? And you guys got to remember, right? Mining companies, they are affected by the halving event, right? So they're earning less. A lot of these companies were, how do you say it? They have the average price of Bitcoin in order for them to be in the profit is kind of high. And a lot of mining companies are treated the same. Although Mara has an advantage, they have a really low average price. I believe it's 40-something thousand. As long as Bitcoin is above 40-something thousand, they are in the green. They're in the positive, making income, making some positive cash flow. But they're all treated the same. Investors aren't really treating these companies too differently, even though they have different balance sheets, different numbers. But they all are affected by very similar things, right? And I'm going to remove this line right here, keep the charts a little bit more clean. But yeah, so you guys got to remember that, there's a lot of expenses these companies run into. There's a lot of concerns when it comes to, for example, I believe Mara is, they have a few different mining companies. One of them is in Texas, or different mining locations, one of them in Texas, and they're trying to change up their cooling systems, quieter mining equipment. They're just trying to reduce the sound, and they're trying to invest more money in that because there are people complaining that these facilities are way too loud. Now, this isn't why Mara is low. This is just one small reason on a larger basket of reasons. And then something else is that you guys got to remember that Mara is a growing company, and I don't mean like, oh, for example, Apple's still a growing company. They're growing, of course. Microsoft, like all that stuff. But what I mean by that is that Mara is a very young, very still fresh company, even though they've been around for just over 10 years. They have a lot to go, and they are using issuing more shares, watering down shareholders, and trying to do everything they can to set themselves up for a proper future. So as you can see, every cycle top, the prices, it's going lower, right? It's going lower. This price right here, it's a lot lower than that one. Every Bitcoin cycle top is lower, and that's reflecting, the cost of aggressively trying to grow a small company. So they're taking these negative approaches short term for a more positive future. And this is why my bull market cycle top when it comes to Mara is up here in this range between 45 and 65, which is lower than the $83 top we saw back in 2021 when the bull cycle top, right? And yeah, Mara is also holding Bitcoin, but none of that. So, a lot of people say, if Bitcoin, if Mara is holding onto Bitcoin and they are trying to grow their holdings because they have a HODL policy, how come it's still not going up compared to other companies since they hold so much more than other companies? Well, that's because it hasn't been factored in, just like a lot of these companies are doing things that haven't been factored in. And one big thing to really focus on is the trend of coin quantity production that they're making, the amount of Bitcoin they're actually mining, as well as how much Bitcoin they're actually keeping, and are they doing anything with their debts, or how are they managing that, if they have any private bond. Either way, what I mean by that is Mara, there's a lot of things that aren't factored into the price just yet. So that's why you're seeing lower prices, which has to do with fear on the overall Bitcoin mining what do you call it? The field that these companies are in, where there's a lot of what was that word? What do you call it? Like mining difficulty. That's a concern. And then, to keep it simple, since we have this, less big price booms every market cycle, that's why I'm still sticking with the fact that, as Bitcoin is still trying to make its way towards all-time highs, there is still uncertainty on what the short-term outlook looks for. So then that's also reflected on Mara. So when I say that, and I've said this in many videos before, when Bitcoin is between 85,000 and 95,000, that's where I'm anticipating the price to finally come up here and start trading around this previous swing high that we see right here, around $34. We will finally see Bitcoin back in the 30s at a minimum, between $85,000 and $95,000 Bitcoin. Once you're at that price, I personally think Mara will finally be up here trading around this previous swing high level. And, so of course we'll see. When that happens, we'll see where Mara is really, really at. And, and then from there we see a little bit of correction, a little bit of consolidation. We see the price then. This isn't for sure in. This isn't really for sure in either until we start seeing. I said this in previous. I'm not going to go over it, but we have 3 levels of price confirmation for upside momentum, and this may change. This right here may change depending on how we get that 3 levels of confirmation. I believe we will get those. It just depends on what that looks like exactly, is how I'm going to finally complete this section up here. But they're all going to pretty much overlap each other. It's going to be pretty much the same where we're trading around this previous swing high. And then after $85,000 and $95,000 Bitcoin, where we start seeing some consolidation in that area before we break past 100K, I'll give you guys a better estimate on what that corrective move will look like for Mara. But, and I said this, and I replied to a lot of people with this, so I'm going to, before I jump into Bitcoin real quick. If you look at Mara, right, I've said this many times, I have my accumulation area down here where I'm slowly accumulating, looking to accumulate slowly, of course, based on as well as the price of Bitcoin, is Bitcoin showing some potential bottoms or retest of supports, and if it is, then I'm also looking to continue to accumulate in this accumulation area. This green level up here is my first level confirmation. Within that, I'm not going to go over the second and third level. I've done that many times in previous videos. I'll go over it in a future video. But, excuse me. And before I say that, this purple line, if you guys are new, divides from the current late 2022. Late 2022 is when we started the new bull cycle. So from the start of that price for Mara up to so far what we've seen for this cycle top, which is, we've seen the price trade around here. If you were to take that whole range, that would be our current bull pattern that we have. So let me just show you guys, it's easier. So if we take from here to here, the halfway point is this purple line, and I'm using that to show the premium and discounted halves of this stock. And we are still trading in the discounted half. So this is real good accumulation area anywhere under this purple line if you are looking to hold on to the stock for the next 3 to 4 months. But what I was trying to explain, right, is in the first level confirmation, which is when prices are trading and sustaining the price within this green area, this is where I am looking to slowly shave off some of that little bit of accumulation in case the price does get rejected, which is very, very, very likely when we start finally trading up here. As you can see right here, we got rejected real quick. We didn't even spend much time there. So the moment we break into this, it's a good idea to start maybe locking in some profits if you are accumulating down here, but leave some on the table in case the price does continue to go higher. And this is just a way to lightly manage your position, in my opinion. If you are an overall bull, if you have a core position where at a minimum you want to, for example, to keep it simple, for a minimum of 100 shares that you're holding on to, right? And every time we are in accumulation zone, you're adding a little bit to that 100 shares. So 100 is your core, and then you're slowly adding. And then when you're in these shaving off areas, then that's when you unload some of that extra, but you never go under that 100. So that's just a very simple way of having a core position in the same portfolio. You can do this in a separate portfolio if you want to do that, but it's the most simple way, is having a quantity of shares that's your core position, and then you can add and shave some off but never go below that. So this is where I'm looking to shave off some positions, still holding onto that core position, going higher. And then once we get the second level confirmation, that's when I'm looking to add more to it. But we're still in that accumulation area. And I made this very, very clear, and I'm going to tell this every time somebody asks what's going on with Mara. I'm going to say the same thing. From this red line right here and this first green line, so the first red, first green, this entire area is uncertainty. This is where Mara is trying to decide if it's going to continue to pump with Bitcoin, or if it's going to continue to consolidate because it wants Bitcoin to show more bullish momentum and get closer to its all-time high before it influences the stock to even go any higher, right? And keep in mind, Mara early every month, somewhere between the 1st and 5th usually, I forgot. But early every month, Mara always publicates how, their production for the month, for the previous month. And those are very, very important numbers. You want to keep track of that. You want to know how healthy mining is going, where the hash rate is at, what's going on with all their facilities. You want that piece of information, that literature that comes out every single month. If you truly believe in Mara and you really say that you're someone that understands Mara, or you're trading it because you really understand it, you're going to read those monthly. It's not even that much information. You can read that very simply. It's on their official website. You can go there, or whatever platform you like to get your news on. It's very important information. If you're someone that says you really understand the stock and you want to trade it, it's very important you understand what's going on in the background, what the production really looks like. Anywhere in this area, I'm not doing anything, guys. I already said I made it very, very simple. I don't care if I continue to wait in this accumulation area, consolidation area for the next 3 to 4 months. I do not care. this is my accumulation area. This is my begin to shave off some positions area. And this is my do nothing wait area, because this is where price is trying to decide where it's going to go. Again, guys, do nothing area. That's what I'm just repeating myself at this point, but it's that simple. It's accumulate, shave off, do nothing, just as that. There is no what ifs, no buts ifs, no nothing. This is how I am managing my trades. And when it comes to Bitcoin, we're actually, and then I'm going to show you guys this because I feel like this is going to help out quite a bit with understanding what could potentially happen. And if we do see what I'm about to explain, that means that Mara can see another little bit further dip into that accumulation area as well. So you can easily see more sell-offs in Mara short term. So I'm just trying to make this super clear with you guys. Guys, do not be super bullish on Mara short term if you're not understanding these value levels quite well, because if you opened a long today on Friday expecting Mara to like pump next week, but next week we see Bitcoin retest this support area right here in white, like you're gonna have a rough time probably, right? So either way, so we saw Mara, we had the rate cut, it pumped up Mara, we kept seeing pumps up all the way up to 64,000. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a sell-off. Now, to put it quite simply, from here to here, this is the 0.5, 0.618, 0.35 line. What that means is, as of right now, unless prices go up any higher, this is what the current support area looks like. And we also have a little bit of a ascending support line as well. And then this is our secondary support down here. So I'll move this more to the right because it's going to be a little bit more cleaner this way. Let's line it up perfectly. Yeah. So it's as simple as that, guys, is as of right now, if prices go up higher, then we will continue to follow the prices up even higher, and then we'll keep doing that. But actually, I think I can move this slightly higher. I think I put it too low. Yeah. So until then, unless we start moving up higher, this is our current support, which means easily prices could dip back down and come into this area right here, find support, and then finally move back higher. So it'll be something like this. This is what I'm looking at currently until we have a break, another break of structure higher. So there's a little bit of finding support somewhere in this line, and the moment, if prices fall into this line, the moment the price breaks into that first 0.35, I'm buying, and then higher prices from there, because we are definitely in an uptrend, and I'm treating it that way, right? Especially we don't have a third touch, so from here to here we haven't had a third touch yet, so it's very likely we have a third touch and then finally break up higher and then create a brand new structure from there, higher up, and then finally approaching all-time highs around like 74. But understanding Bitcoin real quick, and this can affect Mara, so I'm just gonna. So on the 1 hour, we do have some imbalance right here, which means easily we can see the price come down, find support between the 0.5 and 0.35, because there is some price imbalance right here. Now, there is some uncertainty, because like if you were to take that same imbalance, like on the 4 hour, it's not, it's a little, it's tough, because this isn't truly imbalanced, because you do have a wick that comes all the way up here. The body of it's down here, so it depends how you like to treat these. How you like to treat them, how you like to handle these. But I'm being a little cautious. I'm just sitting back and watching. I'm not actively trading Bitcoin right now. I'm just waiting to see what happens, right? I have no problem waiting till like sometime next week. Like, I'm expecting the price over this weekend to stay pretty much flat, or even dip down a little bit more. And then I'm okay with not even playing out any trades Monday or Tuesday. I'm just gonna watch the charts for as long as I need to. I'm not in a rush. But we do have potential imbalance here, although probably not, because we have this wick all the way up here, closing this gap so small. It's tough to say, especially on that 4 hour, on the daily. Again, like they sort of cancel each other out, so I'm not taking these too seriously, although there is some price imbalance right here. So from here to here, this one's a little bit weak, like, because it's further up, and it's I feel like I'm somewhat pushing it. but we can easily see prices definitely reach just below $62,500 real easily sometime within the next like 2 or 3 days, potentially. On the 1 hour is where it's most clear, but it depends how much you trust in. You still have that wick all the way back here, but there is definitely an imbalance right here, which could drag the price down a little bit more. At a minimum, just under 62,500, and then probably even find support right at this line or just above the line, and then push up higher. It just depends on your risk tolerance and how you want to take it. I'm just chilling. I'm just watching it, and then we can find pretty good resistance between the green line right here and then this white line, which is acting as a big picture support. Yeah, so right here, see, is a big picture, not support, big picture triangle resistance. So we can easily see the price stretch up higher, and then this fib line falls in line perfectly. So it's from here to here to here, so you guys can kind of see the dots. Falls in perfectly with that line. This is based on, like, if you were consider a 5-wave move structure in the micro picture of this trend, uptrend. This is the first line. You could treat this as a second and then third, first, second, and then third, but I'm just treating this as a first, second, and then I'm not being very clear. First, second, and then third line. So the top of the third line, and then it's creating this right here as well. So as you can see, so it's first line up, and then completed down here, and then we finally have a little bit of imbalance overlapping in this area. I'm sorry guys, I'm kind of tired. I've been up for a while, so I can't even think straight. But this is a pretty good resistance, and we can see some consolidation and find support around what I would then draw you guys a fresh fib line. Oh, man, I need to rest soon, so I would just stretch it up for whatever we get up there. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys. I can't even focus right now. I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna pass out anytime soon. So yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. Hopefully this video made sense. Hopefully Mara made sense. Hopefully you guys are staying patient, not being too aggressive with it. Because remember, if you guys made it this far, just thank you. But remember, don't focus all your time on one asset. There's so many assets out there, especially if you're in the crypto space. There's so much opportunity. Don't put all your time and focus into one crypto related stock. Like, yeah, I love Mara. I see a really good future. I see higher prices throughout this bull cycle, but don't put all of your attention on it, because you're gonna miss out opportunities, some other stuff, right? So yeah, I'm just staying patient with it. Stay patient, guys. Stay patient. Just keep an eye on those levels for Mara, and understand that anytime soon, we can see a somewhat of a reasonable, correction in Bitcoin before we start seeing higher prices, or we'll see what happens here. But I'm trying to look for support at least at this 0.35 right here. So that's what I'm waiting on. I'll catch you guys soon. Take care, and have a great weekend, guys.